everyone, and welcome back to my course Microsoft 365 Security Administrator MS 500. We are in section 13 of the course, and in this lesson we are going to discuss about privileged access in Office 365. So first of all, we're going to discuss about PAM in Office 365 and Customer Lockbox. So let's get into our first topic here and discuss about Privileged Access Management, or shortly PAM, in Office 365. Privileged Access Management basically allows granular access control over privileged admin tasks in Office 365. It can help protect your organization from breaches and breaches that may use existing privileged admin accounts with standing access to sensitive data or access to critical configuration. So, after enabling privileged access management, users will basically need to request just-in-time access to complete elevated and privileged tasks through an approval workflow that is highly scoped and time-bound. So this, as you can see, gives users just enough access to perform the tasks at hand without risking exposure or sensitive data or critical configuration settings. So privileged access management, as you can see here on the picture from the slide, complements other data and access feature protections within Office 365 security architecture. So by enabling the privileged access management as part of an integrated approach to security and protecting your organization, a layered security model can be used to maximize protection of sensitive information and Office 365 configuration settings. Now, as you can see here in the diagram from the slide, enabling privileged access management helps basically build on the protection provided with native encryption of Office 365 data and the role-based access control security model of the Office 365 services. So when used in conjunction with Azure AD Privileged Identity Management, these two features provide access control with just-in-time access at different scopes. Now let's talk about the Privileged Access Management flow a little bit. So there are several steps in configuring in the flow of the Privileged Access Management, but I will just summarize them at a high level. So step one would be to actually configure a Privileged Access Policy. And here, when you configure a privileged access policy with the Microsoft 365 Admin Center or the Exchange Management PowerShell, you basically define the policy and the privileged access features, processes, and the policy attributes in the Office 365. Now, the second step would be to access request. So in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center or of course, Exchange Management PowerShell users can request access to elevated or privileged tasks. Then you have the next step would be the access approval, right? So an approval request is generated and the pending request notification is emailed to approvers. If approved, the privileged access request is processed, and if not, if denied, the task is blocked and no access is granted to the requester. And then the last step, you have access processing. So for an approved request, the task is processed by the Exchange Management run space, the approval is checked against the privileged access policy and processed by the Office 365 substrate. Again, I left you a link to additional reading to more details in regards to this, and you will also have the opportunity to actually enable, configure, and play hands-on with this feature in the lab at the end of this section. That being said, let's go ahead and talk about our next topic here, and that is the Customer Lockbox. So, as an Office 365 admin, Customer Lockbox requests allow you to control how a Microsoft support engineer accesses your data. It's that simple. So, sometime, let me get to the next slide over here. So sometimes, if you run into an issue, you might need a Microsoft support engineer to help you fix it. In some cases, the support engineer will require access to your Office 365 content to troubleshoot and fix the issue. So Customer Lockbox requests allows you to control whether to give the support engineer access to your data. There's also an expiration time on the request, and content access is removed after the support engineer has fixed the issue. Now, a very important note over here. Customer Lockbox capability is never used when troubleshooting doesn't require access to customer content. For a majority of support cases, resolution doesn't actually require the use of customer Lockbox access. One more thing, the customer Lockbox is included in the Office 365 Enterprise E5 plan. So, as a workflow and very quickly, I want to describe how a customer request Lockbox looks, and as an example, you have a picture here on the slide. So, let's say someone at your company or school has an issue with their Office 365 mailbox. After some troubleshooting, you can't fix the issue and open a support request with Microsoft. The support engineer then reviews the service request and needs access to your Exchange Online content to repair the issue. The support engineer logs into the customer Lockbox request tool and sends you an email letting you know that there's a pending customer Lockbox request. Then the customer Lockbox request tool sends you an email letting you know that there's a pending Lockbox request, and if you reject or don't approve the request within 12 hours, access is automatically revoked. So you log into the Office 365 Admin Center and approve the request. Now, very important, you don't include any, there are no links included in the customer Lockbox email that requires you to log into Office 365. Then, lastly, the support engineer gets the approval message, logs into Exchange Online and fixes the issue. As soon as the issue is fixed, the customer Lockbox request is closed and access is revoked. Or, of course, once the support engineer starts the process, they have 4 hours to fix the issue before access is revoked. And that is basically it. Very straightforward process. So this concludes the discussion of our lesson, and we'll see you in the next lesson where we'll discuss about information barriers. Again, I hope this has been informative for you, and thank you for viewing.